My chair's squeaky, Tim.
YouTube and Facebook are live, gents.
Holy smokes. So we're live, and I'm seated. It's the first time ever.
And you got a microphone.
I got a microphone. I got lights.
I turned my volume off.
I'm nervous. So welcome to Beers and Bucks, episode 1. We're going to kind of recalibrate. And we're going to call this episode 1.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing with our mics all night. We've never done this before. We're rednecks still. We just have these funny little looking things in front of our face. We probably can sound better. We don't look better, but we might sound better. Yeah. We're excited to have you. So we're going to do our normal thing, just a little different look and let more people hear us. I don't know why.
Well, I think the big thing is like guys are always like, oh, I missed it. And then they got to try and track it down on our Facebook page. And we wanted to make it available across more platforms. We want to reach more people. We want to educate more people with what we're talking about here on Beers and Bucks. But also it's just thanks to everyone that supported us in our early days of our Beers and Bucks Facebook lives. And
2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been really awesome. And we appreciate all the support, but we've learned a lot. I know a lot of people have learned a lot from these, so keep the comments coming. We want these to be interactive as always. But yeah, just super pumped.
I'm just excited to be like in view when it begins.
Yeah, and you don't have the little chair this time.
Before.
Everything's going good.
Don't have the tiny chair.
What are we going with for a beverage?
We have a studio audience too.
Yeah, we got 2 people staring at us.
The whole squad's here today.
Makes me nervous.
The whole squad's here.
I know.
The A-team.
We got the A-team here, Domain.
We got Jake and Riley running things back there. They're really just drinking beer, but
yeah.
We'll
at least have to let me know when you need another one.
Yeah, we'll at least give them credit for, they look like they're working hard. They got computers in front of them. They got headsets on.
Dude, we actually got subtitles going on mine too.
You got subtitles?
Yeah. I mean, this is like the real deal. Riley wasn't messing around here.
Wow. I feel bad for all the people that are joining us for the first time.
If you are a first timer, you'll understand that we don't take it too serious, but we do get serious about food plotting, and that's really what matters. So
absolutely.
I'd like to just kind of kick it off with a question that I've been fielding a lot, and just kind of get us going down a path. And there's a lot of guys in Wisconsin that have been messaging me, Minnesota, that frost seeded 2-3 weeks ago. We had that nice freeze thaw going. Now we had snow again this week.
Brutal.
Why, at what point is my clover going to germinate? Like, it's not greening up. And it's really important. Obviously, you get your seeds in the ground. They're going to lay dormant until the soil temps are right. And Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. At 60, 65 degree temps, you're going to start to get that germination coming. You
need soil and air temps to warm up. So the seed is not dead. It's not frozen. It's just waiting. And unfortunately, this year it's waited longer than I can remember.
Yeah.
But hopefully May brings, what do they say? April showers bring May flowers.
Yeah.
In this way, food plots.
What do they say about April snowstorms?
I don't know.
I don't know either. We'll have to Google
look that up. Maybe I almost talked about Timmy.
It might be on Wikipedia. Dude, don't bring Timmy the Turnip into this.
Ooh.
I spoiled it.
We'll talk about him later. I wish I could. My comments aren't. There's some questions here I wanted to answer, but I can't pull them up. So you're gonna have to be my eyes and ears, Timmy. But somebody asked a question already about some food plots, some shaded trails. That's been my biggest question. What do I plant in the woods? And it's easiest to answer now because we're ahead of it.
Yeah. When I don't want to I don't want us to take credit for it, but a lot of the content that we've done at my land has been around shade, because that's what we deal with, and that's what most guys we deal with planting. They have shade. So it's one of those deals where, do you not plant? No, there's a solution there. And is it always going to be successful? No, you got to get things right. And for us, if you're in our 4-wheeler trail, this weekend we'll go and we'll leaf blow it. I want to make sure I get it overseeded again before the leaves come in. I think if you plant it before the leaves and it's got optimal conditions, meaning your soil temps are warm, you get that good sun baking on it, you've got good moisture, you're going to get germination and you're going to get root establishment, which a lot of times guys are like, well, where are my plants? Well, they're not growing up. They got to grow down first and they got to establish their root systems. Then all of a sudden they'll shoot up. So
still a redneck.
It's one of those things where it may take a little trial and error, but you can get it right. Conditions still need to be right, but that's food plotting. You could plant Big Sexy in August and not get rain for 3 weeks, and you're not going to have a very great plot.
Amen to that. I wasn't listening to anything you said.
Well,
I was trying to figure out how to pull up the live feed, and
it's like we got devices.
Still a redneck. I got stuff in my face.
Systems going off.
The alarm's going off. My phone's talking to me. Somebody just called me. It's whew. So Richard's in his turkey blind hunting turkeys.
Oh, that's awesome!
What a guy!
Right now
in Iowa, it must be
I
open.
guess it's still light out.
Probably.
We haven't been outside of the warehouse in a while.
Haven't had a lot of success hunting with spotlights, but I suppose it's possible.
So, yeah, I mean, for the shaded stuff, there was another question from Bradley. I mean, no BS is awesome in those conditions as well. What I've found is if you're looking at it and you're going, it's more shady, like you get more shade than daylight to a main degree. Hot chick to me is going to be where I'd go. No BS does well, but it does need some good sun every day.
I would say no BS needs more sun than hot chick just because the plant varieties.
Yeah.
But the key is when you plant it. Plant it before the canopy.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
But also conditions, right? This year is not proving in Wisconsin right now to have the best conditions.
Right now.
The leaves are going to be, everything's going to be delayed.
I don't know. Kevin sent me a picture from La Crosse, and his hot chick plot was that tall already.
So maybe
already
it's
established. He did the old
location.
Jake method and blew it off. I don't know. I think we might just live in a hell.
Yeah, it's a weird world right now.
Yeah. That might be what it is. I'm a little concerned. Most of the comments are telling us how professional we look.
Well,
what does that mean for the last 2 years? We looked very unprofessional?
I don't know.
It's almost like a backhanded compliment.
Chad's like my brother because we both love no BS, but
Chad is your brother.
If he keeps up this attitude,
what did he say?
He's going to get a hat or something.
Did he say you look like you're wearing a suit?
Yeah, well, I got my vest. It's looking nice. Sucker's sharp.
All I've seen on here is you look professional, way to go. I can actually hear you. You look nice. Like, what's that say about the last 2 years?
Well, we had a cell phone propped up on a shitty tripod 10 feet away from us, stacked on 8 stockpile blocks.
Half the time you couldn't hear.
Sometimes a case of Coors to aid the launch.
We did use a box of diapers once, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Which both these guys could probably use right now. Jake's got a whole horde of them back home. Horde, same thing, right? 3 can be a herd, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Whew, these subtitles are making me all...
I like them. So we're tonight we're not officially sponsored, but we're both again drinking Hop and Barrel.
Oh, yeah.
We need to shout them out.
Hint, Hop and Barrel.
They're our local brewery.
Yeah.
I've got them in Wisconsin. And,
maybe next week will be powered by Hop and Barrel.
It'd be pretty cool.
I mean, it kind of is. Our deer are powered by Domain. We are powered by Hop and Barrel.
Until this one's gone, then I got to switch to the old CLs.
I'm actually shocked you're not drinking Coors Light right now.
I will.
Yeah. It's just a play. This is fun, though. For those of you just joining us, hold on tight. That's about all I can say. We're a little different than most guys. Hard to listen to, funny to look at. What else?
I think you'll find that the community that follows this is where you're going to get a lot of advice. I think you can go, there's a lot of the Facebook groups and stuff out there where you can get a lot of people very opinionated. Mike and I have failed more than we've succeeded in food plotting, and we'll be the first to tell you that, but we always try and learn from those mistakes. Last year, I had a full acre food plot fail.
That was beans.
Mother Nature didn't work out, but we salvaged a plan, and we try and talk about that. And I think what you'll find is there's a lot of guys open to it, and I think the community here is different than what you'll find in some of the food plot chat groups 100%. And all that, where everyone's got their opinion. And
we don't use the E word around here expert.
Yeah.
I hate that word.
I was going to go with Enron.
Ooh.
But, you know.
We don't talk about Enron either. What?
It's that company that
I know, yeah. I know.
I saw it on that.
We don't talk about Enron either, though.
It's a good one.
Oh, gosh. Audio is a vast improvement. That is also very true. Our audio used to suck. Unfortunately, they're listening. Now they can probably hear us more loud and clear. Our viewership's going to go way
what's
down.
up with the nasally voice that Tim's got?
Wow, they're actually really annoying to listen to. No, this is fun, though. I see a lot of people highly anticipating Hot Chick, which excites me. This has been a long winter. It just won't go away. So we're as excited for the next 2 weeks as anybody. We're finally going to actually be able to till up the earth and plant some food plots and do the things. I wanted to bring up an interesting topic that seems to have really kind of encouraged a ton of questions, a ton of like, wait, what? We posted a picture today that we've posted multiple times this year where somebody went in and tilled the earth. A bunch of weeds came up. They tilled it again. A bunch of weeds came up and they called and said, what the hell do I do? Like, these weeds are killing me. And I spray, I till, the weeds come up. I spray, I till, the weeds come up. Well, every time you till, you unearth or allow weeds to kind of do their thing. So we provided an example of where you till, let the weeds come up, kill, let them dry or die, and broadcast into it. And I think if there's anything you take away from today, there's a lot of cool info. Even though we're funny and we make jokes and whatever, there's some good tidbits to pick out of it. That's one of them. Because we always battle weeds, and in the spring, we battle them 5x.
Now you look at the cost of weed killer.
Absolutely.
And it's asinine. And you break it down that, like, we battle weeds every year, and it's like, are you getting the mic squared away?
I got nervous and I was just gonna hide behind it for a minute.
We battle them every year, and it's like we always were in that cadence where we'd go in, we'd till it, weeds would come up, we'd spray it, then we'd wait a week, then we'd go in and till and plant and roll. And all of a sudden, you're still fighting weeds. Well, duh, you just unearthed it again. And I think one of the things that we did really well last year was we applied that in a lot of our plots. And especially this year with weed killer being, crazy, crazy expensive. You want to limit the amount of time you're doing that. So till it, let it come up, let the weeds start to get established, go in and spray it, broadcast your seeds, and then if you've got a good rain, that can help. Otherwise, if you've got a roller or a cultipacker, or drive over it a bunch with a four-wheeler or AT, like whatever, you're going to have a lot better success, especially if we have another drought this year, because the drought's what really killed us last year. Weeds have this amazing ability to grow and nothing else can.
Yep.
So
to that point, when you have those dead weeds on top of the soil and it does get dry, those weeds hold moisture. Those dead plants hold moisture, protect the seed, help them grow. So there's a lot of benefits to it, and it's just one of those
tasty little critter.
It's just one of those things that, like, it's a great way to plant. The other thing that a misnomer is you don't have to wait a week to plant after spraying glyphosate. All it has to do is dry.
Glyphosate, to clarify, is
Roundup, it's a generic Roundup.
Grass-only killer.
Nope.
No?
Do not clarify.
What?
It's a contact killer. It kills everything it touches.
Got it.
Yeah, clethodim is your grass-only killer.
Clethodim, yeah.
Confusing. Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those things where once it dries, you can seed the plot. You don't have to wait a week. You don't have to wait 2 weeks.
Got it.
A lot of us, you included, don't live on your property. It's a bear to spray something and be like, I got to try to come back here in 2 weeks, or a week. Spray it Friday night, plant it Sunday. Those plants are going to die. They're going to provide the mulch, provide the moisture. It's an awesome way to plant. To your point, you save money on fertilizer, gas, or not fertilizer, but
weed killer.
Potentially spraying it multiple times with weed killer, gas. And it's a great way to give those seeds a head start without competition.
Yep.
Good in the spring, good in the fall. It's a great way to do it. I also want to talk about raising or high prices of fertilizer.
Yeah.
And the potential to use overhaul and just types of seed that help invigorate and recharge your soil. So that's something we can touch base on too. I need a beer. thirsty. That was a lot of words.
That was a good dialogue, is what I would say. The thing is too, like the plot that we tested overhaul on my property last year, we were gonna till it under. We were gonna replant, and it came in so awesome that we just left it. So it's a good plot. Oh no, they're popped there.
Yeah, I just wanted them to hear it in the crowd in case they weren't.
What weed killer brand do you use? Well, generic.
Yeah, as long as the glyphosate is the ingredient you're looking for. Find the cheapest glyphosate you can find, and good luck. It about 2 or 3x this year, so you're going to have to get a little bit more creative. Maybe water it down. Use some of the methods of like planting, overhaul, crimping it, overseeding into it, stuff of that nature. I mean, it might be a year where you get a little bit creative just because of the cost of glyphosate. It's also a year where those folks that planted a bunch of Comeback Kid and Hot Chick last year are going to be happy as hell they did.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to mow it and let the deer do their thing, and maybe a little fertilizer here and there, but you're not going to have to replant anything. One more reason why those perennials are so important.
Yeah, well, I'll be excited too, because this year, every spot I had a perennial in, I went in and I frost seeded with Comeback Kid and Hot Chick, and some of it I'm probably going to end up just keeping. And
heck yeah,
like, why, if a clover plot's looking good, the deer love it, and they need it. And a lot of guys, they don't establish that year after year after year perennial. They till it into their annuals, and it's just, I think year 2, year 3 are some of the best clover plots we've seen.
Also, too, I don't think they get enough credit for how good they are in the fall and winter. My good buddy Dave lives in Duluth, which is like the North Pole.
Yeah,
and he
way up northern Minnesota.
He killed a buck in Hot Chick in December.
Digging it up.
Yeah, and it was green down there, and they were coming to it every single night. And I just think it's interesting we always talk about brassicas, and we love our big sexies, our smackdowns. We love our brassica mixes, but I think oftentimes perennials get overlooked for that same. I mean, if you dig up I bet Jake's Comeback Kid plot in his woods was green in December. I know it was on Thanksgiving when his dad killed that buck. So I just think that they get overlooked. It's definitely at retail. If you've never planted food plots before and you look at them, they're more expensive, so you're not going to buy them.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, they're less expensive because of what they offer over time. And I think if I have a goal this year, it is to give them more credit for their ability to attract deer later into the year.
Yeah, we saw that with our chicory clover, our hot check plot, and it was awesome for sure.
I'm going to do a quick rundown of people who are commenting.
Trevor Glomsky,
just because it's fun
for life
to count the states. So we got Richard Brook in Iowa. If I miss your state or don't know your state, my bad. Jason Karshbaum, Wisconsin. Kevin Casey, New York. Bradley Steinmetz, I don't know where you're from, but please tell me. Chad Van Orden, the No BS King, New Jersey. Tim Pitzel, New Nebraska. James Reinard, Michigan. Deb Schutz, that's your mom.
Hello, it's probably my dad.
Jordan,
he doesn't
also
have
true.
a Facebook account.
Smart
so
guy. Jordan Ura, we'll talk about Green Machine later. Minnesota. Kevin Ganther, Wisconsin. Jake Ergen is sitting across from me. That's weird. Ryan Nordahl, Wisconsin. Corey Holstein, Brant's from Indiana. Blake Yunker, Wisconsin. I'm on a roll here. Rick Bedell, Michigan. Pimpin' ain't easy, boys. I love it. Greg Johnsrud. I love Greg Johnsrud. That guy's story about his property is so awesome, and I bring it up every time we have a podcast, but I think it's well-deserved. He planted a bunch of our stuff for the first time last year, and his story about the amount of deer he sees now compared to what he used to see is pretty incredible. It's kind of why we do what we do. Josh Myers, Indiana. Jason Wenzel. Big help. Good buddy, Wisconsin. Ethan Ash. Don't know, but I want to know. Dave Richmond. Maryland. Spencer Renfro, Kentucky. We'll talk about him in a minute. He's got a pretty good program.
Can I just say this is impressive?
Kevin, my brain works this way. Kevin, I'm not even kidding. It's weird. Kevin Wiedemeyer, Pennsylvania. If you've ever ordered from us, I know, and I will know forever. If you've ever communicated with me on Facebook, I will know forever. My brain works that way. It's creepy. So don't ever say any bad words, because I won't forget those either. Chris Worthing, New Jersey. I think I've got Corey Jeffries, Pennsylvania. John Schrader, one of the two. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. We're going to kill turkeys with you. Wisconsin. Heather Bell, Georgia. Who did I miss? Corey Holst, Minnesota. Trevor Glomsky. Is he in Minnesota or Wisconsin?
He lives in River Falls.
He lives in River Falls. Jose, you were the one who invited us to Iowa, but then didn't invite us to Iowa. Remember him a couple podcasts ago?
He's like, I want to have you guys down, help my farm.
Yeah.
Set up the stands for you.
Help us out, bro.
Even had some landowner tags.
Matt Waller, Brad Burrows down in Missouri. Love
heck?
it. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, let me know. And that is really creepy that I know everybody where they're from. But that's what we do,
It
right?
is
That's how we do
creepy.
things.
But
All
we
those
did-
handwritten notes, it just memorizes the people in my brains.
And Marcus Waters just popped on, our good buddy, and it just reminded me of, it was somewhat unfortunate.
We're going to talk about this for a while.
We've been applying here into Montana, and Dad and I are trying to get this elk hunt where you hunt them out of tree stands, and they come into alfalfa fields and they kill giant bulls, and we've been all giddy about it. Haven't drawn the tag, and this year Dad thought he drew the tag, so then I got all amped up. And
Typical
I logged
Tim
in.
scenario. Got a tag, didn't get a tag, got a tag, didn't get a tag.
Oh my God! Within the FWP Montana DNR, they upgraded their system. It's super clunky, by the way. So
Sounds
if
like a
anyone
great
from Montana
investment
DNR
they
is
made.
listening to this, change your system. And be like,
I'm sure they're not.
Why is it so damn complicated to
They don't
apply
care
for a
about
damn
us.
tag? Like, do you want to get a tag in 2 years? Yes. Okay, buy this and buy this.
I don't. Why is the process so hard?
I don't know. Buying preference points is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But anyways, it come to find out that we didn't draw for Montana, which means
It was a bittersweet moment for me.
I'm coming back to Kentucky. And Mike got all amped up. If you ever spend a day in the warehouse with Mike, you realize that when he walks around, he whistles a lot. And I happened to.
So is Jake.
My,
Like we were secretly born in Kentucky.
you guys are just whistling fools. So
Yeah.
some backstory here. When we were in Kentucky last year, I'm walking out of my stand after dark, and I'm walking down this road. I about probably half mile walk out, and somebody starts whistling over to my right, and I'm like, that's odd. I'm like, maybe it was,
Was
just
it, though?
maybe
Was it odd?
Maybe it was a songbird or something. Like, never heard a songbird at night. Rewind to this. Actually, earlier in that night, I had the buck that I'd been hunting for 3 days coming in on a string right to my stand, and a giant bull, like biggest bull I've ever seen, comes walking right in by the stand and kicks my buck out. So I had a little run in with him on the walk out, and my dumbass decides to shake the bag of bad habit attractant to try and scare him. He starts bucking at me and stomping his foot. So anyways, I'm already revved up because I scared off this bull. I'm not afraid of one bull. You give me 2 bulls, I'm worried. I took 6th place in the folk style wrestling tournament in 1996.
How many participants?
There were 6. Actually, I was 4th place, and there's 4 of us. But I did get 95. I got a participation trophy for soccer too.
Why did 6 out of 6 feel better than 4th out of 4
You know,
in your head?
I don't know. But anyways, so I'm walking out in Kentucky, and this guy's whistling at me. I'm assuming it's a guy, and following me, following me. And I get all the way down to the road, and I text Mike. I'm like, "Where are you? You need to get here." It's whistling. So I'm sitting there digging in my pack. Didn't bring a sidearm. I'm bringing one this year. I brought a knife out, and I had
He's
my
gonna end up
headlamp.
shooting himself this year now. Jeez.
Mike thought that I wasn't going to get back to Kentucky because it was going to contradict my Montana trip. So he was pumped because he was going to go hang out with this guy. He probably knows the land really well because he's out there at night whistling. And come to find out that I get to hunt the pond again this year.
This is how I actually thought, and it was very selfish, but it also would have been really gratifying. First, I wanted you and your dad to go on an elk hunt.
Yeah.
Really fun. Very cool. However,
You wanted to sit in my stand.
here's how it works. When you sit somewhere, you fall in love with it, and then you're like, I'm going to go sit somewhere else. As a hunter, you jump into that stand because you're going to kill a giant.
Yeah.
So had you not been in Kentucky this next 2022, I was going to sit the pond stand and kill a giant and text you and say, hey, Timmy, I just killed a giant in your stand. And it was going to be amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's not
So I feel
happening.
bad for the selfishness there because I'm really happy you guys are coming. But man, that would have been fun. So I can't wait till we're into day 4 and you haven't seen a deer yet and you move. And I'm going to swoop in there and slam that 9-pointer. And I'm going to whistle my ass all the way out of that stand.
maybe the guy was trying to tell me something because I did change stands. Maybe he was like, "Hey, like, don't leave."
It bleeped out my my curse word.
Shit.
There it is.
What did it say, Sanda?
No, it said 4 stars.
A horse's ass. Watch our language.
There it is.
This is a family-friendly program.
Yeah.
But it is really cool. It's fun. The domain crew goes down and takes over Whitetail Crossings, and that is world class.
If Riley would have joined us earlier, he would have got the invite, but he didn't join us soon enough. So maybe if he's still around next year, he'll come along. But
did we even really announce that we have a new team member?
I don't know. We
Jake.
announced it on Facebook, and we announced it on Archery Wire. But we didn't announce it on Beers and Bucks.
So Riley's been with us from day one, basically.
No. Riley and I met on a whim.
A year after we started, maybe?
Yeah, we were a year in. And
which, I mean, let's be honest.
We were in my basement.
We were still in the basement.
And I remember him asking questions about 5 years. And I was like, 5 years, dude, we're trying to make it to the next month. But I didn't tell him that because that would have been really bad. Like, I'm a sales guy, you know. And here he is, 3.5 years later. He's helping drive the rocket ship. So
you go to any of your local bow shops and farm stores and everything.
He's our guy.
Helped to get it. So thank you. Cheers to you, Riley.
Yeah, cheers to you. He also set up all this crazy, wild technology stuff. Tim and I would have had no chance.
Next time he said that we have to set it up ourselves.
So this might be
There's a manual. It's this
might be the first and last podcast because if you've been with us for the last 3 years, an iPhone challenges us.
I took a little peruse in that manual and there's not a single picture or pop-up. How the hell are we supposed to do this?
I watched him set this up for the last 3 hours and it would have taken me 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And
it ain't happening.
Although I will say this, Riley's first attempt at doing something like this failed miserably, and we had to fall back onto my iPhone. And for me, it was kind of a little.
What's up?
But now I'm glad that it worked because this is nice. I'm still getting used to this microphone in my face.
Marcus is wondering what's on my head.
That's a hat.
Are these on the website yet?
They're not.
Next week.
We have some new.
We got some new lids.
We have a couple of new lids.
We got a couple of old school lids too. I wish I had one. But we'll show them to you. So apparel's not our business, but we're hat guys, we're shirt guys, we're guys,
I'm a big vest guy.
And we finally have apparel back in stock, which we couldn't say for the last 24 months. But we kind of went outside the box and brought in a few new hats. Timmy's got one on his head. These are your legacy hats, so they fit a little bit better. If y'all like them, we'll bring more in. If you don't like them, tell us. We're not afraid to hear it.
The thing
I like, freaking awesome.
I like the Richardson
old greasy
hats.
Brim. I mean,
I like Richardson hats.
Absolutely.
I hate new hats because I hate breaking them in. Something to be said about these legacy hats. Sorry if you're getting we have lights now too that are shining on us. So if you're getting the legacies, they just pop right on and they just fit. They break right in.
I'm going to step in here, too. I'm totally off the subject. We'll come back in here.
I don't know why you got to yell.
Because I'm going to yell at Ethan for a second here. So Ethan Ash, Pierce, St. Clair County. He's like one of our brothers already.
You're right here.
Which is the best. However, I'm going to thank you because he says, been meaning to order from you guys, but saw some hot chick at Fleet Farm and just had to have her. Keep shopping the dealers.
Please.
Only shop us if you can't find it there. So thank you for doing you, Ethan. We appreciate you. And I can't wait to see your success, man. I wish I knew where you were because we obviously live in St. Clair County, but don't tell me because then you'll have neighbors trying to hunt over your hot chick plot and you have to throw some incognito, and I know how that goes.
Jordan Ure is already hustling us for the camel one.
Everybody is. Apparently they've been well received, so I like it.
This one here.
That one's a sleeper.
If we put the leather patch on it, it could be the new green killing hat.
Ooh.
I think we got to make it one just for me, for Kentucky, and I'll wear it. I'll try it.
Timmy's trying to do anything he can to kill a deer this year.
Yeah.
How long has it been, Tim?
I am the buckless super.
How long has it been?
As long as I've known Tim, he hasn't killed me.
2018, I've been...
The first year you owned the land.
First year I owned the land, I schwacked
one. When I almost shot that 5-year-old.
It was probably a 2-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
I got you all amped up, but I've been...
Same deal.
I've been holding off. I've been picky, which sucks. I've passed some nice bucks. I've had some encounters with some big bucks that I would have shot that I couldn't get a shot at.
That happens.
Had a bull come charging in at me. I had to get the red sheet. I always bring red with me when I go out hunting in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And so I had to
You are like a matador in your,
I had to tame the wild bull.
your night job.
So I'm hoping this year is my year. I think it might be.
I hope it is.
You know, it's just.
You and Jake are due.
But it's also
Riley's
proof,
due. He didn't even
it's
hunt
also
last year. He had a
proof
kid.
that it's not all about.
I guess that's fair.
It's not all about.
Jake had 2 kids.
Whacking one. And that's what you say when you haven't shot.
He
one
still
in a few
hunted.
years. You know, it's not all about killing a buck.
It's not.
I love the process.
Killing deer is the smallest part of it.
I enjoy the process.
And I think, I'm going to say this to Jake, but I think everybody could learn from this. And I'm not trying to teach. I'm just trying to provide what I know from golf. And I'm going to parlay it into deer hunting. The more you want something and the more pressure you put on yourself to get something, the less likely you are to get it.
Fair.
And I know Jake's got a smoker of a buck that he's going to hunt this year, and he's putting a ton of pressure on himself already to kill it. I'm trying to encourage him to enjoy hunting it. And we'll see if he listens.
It's easier said than done.
100% it is.
You go and whack 2 bucks in 1 year, and you're just Mr. High and Mighty with the advice. You know, you try going on a cool spell. I'm going like I'm not sleeping at night.
That's your problem. You're probably sleeping in the stand.
This year.
In my defense, I mean,
could be the year.
I've had a few assists from some of my friends.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Technically, both the deer I killed last year were assisted, and I'll explain. So the first deer I killed was in Kentucky. We're hunting Whitetail Crossing, our good buddy Brian, who honestly, if you haven't hunted there, good luck because he's full. But if he wasn't full, I would recommend hunting there.
Yep.
The guy knows how to kill deer. He knows how to plant food plots, which is awesome. But seriously, top-notch outfit. And we're hunting there, and Jake and I are hunting this farm. I can't tell you what it is because we don't want anybody to know. And
it's not the haunted slave pen.
It's the haunted slave farm.
You guys sent me there.
Freaking awesome. It's my favorite place. I'm not going to name them names.
After I got whistled at, I'm sitting there in the dark for an hour next to this old, like, rundown building. I'm like, that's good. Don't look in the windows.
And so we've got a text chain going, right, all week. So we get a text from Jake saying, shit, I just missed a giant. And we're like, oh, man, dude, that sucks. Get back on the horse and get ready to go, whatever. And like an hour later, mind you, this is a 900-acre farm, 800-acre farm. I'm messing around. It's 10 a.m. I'm staring at some does in the water hole and turn around. It's like,
there he is.
Shoot her at like 10 yards. And I'm not ready. Why would I be? And fortunately, there was a big cedar tree. Got behind and I shot him, whatever. And then I sent the old custom 1 arrow with 3 red dots because that's my tagline. And the boy's like, oh, yeah, shot a buck, whatever. So Jake gets down from his stand, gets his arrow, and is like, guys, I hit it. I must have hit him. So they start tracking this deer. And Anthony, the guide, says, Jake, we're getting kind of close to where Mike was hunting. Why don't you give him a call? Phone rings. I'm still in my stand. As Timmy knows, I can barely answer it because I shake a lot. Because if you stop shaking, stop hunting. Wow, that was kind of came at you there.
That was pretty aggressive.
And Jake describes this deer. And it looks just like the deer on my wall. It's crazy how he described it because it was. He's like, does that thing have a bladed G2 and a split G2? It's like, yeah, it sure does. Shit.
Whoops.
I shot your deer. Well, as it turns out, we found my deer because I actually shot it where we were supposed to. And sorry, that was hard.
That was hard.
Well, Jake shot it right here in the tricep. And I didn't even know it. He didn't even know it. Nobody knew it. So I got an assist on that one from Jake, and I appreciate it. This year I'll repay the favor without hitting the deer first. I'll just like guide him to his stand or something.
Maybe you could do that
and then
me instead of Jake.
The second deer I killed, which is pretty special because I hadn't killed a deer in 10 years with my rifle in Wisconsin, was in a swamp 2.5 miles from a road with my best friends doing things the old way. You've done it.
Oh, yeah.
1 year and then you quit because he's a puss.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I bleeped that out.
Sorry, yeah, four stars.
Can't say that.
But yeah, so deer drives the old school way. And when I killed it,
I'm back in there. We were way in there, and they start cutting down trees and tying this deer to it. And it's like, all right, throw it on your shoulder. And I'm like, okay, so I thought maybe it was like
He grabbed the guns and everybody else.
I thought
grabbed
maybe
the
you
gear.
would go 40, 50 yards and then rotate. I was trudging for 300-400 yards, no help. I had no water.
That's your own fault.
No one was there to help me, and then I had to tap out.
We carried this thing 2.5 miles. Anyways, enough about me. But those are my 2 deer, both assisted. I can't take credit for either one of them. So, yeah.
Well, this year it'll be fun. Maybe I'll have to bring this setup down there and see if we can get her rigged up.
Orville knows. And if it's Orvale instead of Orville, I apologize. But I hope you're going to be down there with us in Kentucky this year, buddy. I know you're going down to hunt turkeys next week. So say hi to Brian for us. Looked like the guys shot some longbeards this weekend. So we're excited to get down there. That place is special. Anytime you get one more buck tag in your pocket, it's special.
Yeah.
When you can do it with some of your best friends and just hang out in camp, screw the buck tag.
Camp was honestly one of the funnest parts. We watched the Packer game the first night.
Your dad went ham.
Yeah, that was chill. We posted a picture, and my dad made a cameo in the background of the picture, going in for a big old bite of ham or whatever. Steaks, yeah. And somebody commented, it's like, dude, your buddy's going ham on his food. And it's like literally like my go-to phrase now is like, I'm going ham.
Oh, well, yeah. And he was. I mean, we all were. He just got caught on camera.
Whoops.
Sorry, Dad. I bet he doesn't next year. He'll be guarded.
He'll eat in his room.
Poor guy.
He had his own room.
He had his own
shower.
I know.
You get in there, he's got it all set up.
Can't blame a guy who's either that or bunk with us.
What's going on? I got to put my mic down.
We're still getting used to this thing here. We're almost professional. But if you're joining us for the first time, this is our first real episode of Beers and Bucks. It'll be on a podcast somewhere, wherever the podcasts go, wherever you're listening to your podcasts. But it'll always live on Facebook Live as well.
Yeah. Well, and, I think, we love these. We enjoy doing these. We'll likely have some guests upcoming, staggering in, but we don't want to lose touch in like what it's meant to be, which is interacting and answering questions. So
heck yeah.
We've had some really great guests on our Facebook Live, Beers and Bucks. So just to be able to kind of take it to that next level, I think is really exciting for us.
Yeah.
And
hopefully get a few more states on here that I can memorize.
Yeah.
I mean, I missed a bunch of them.
You did.
There's nobody from Ohio on here. There's nobody from, we got a lot of them. North Carolina, Virginia.
We got a lot of guys that want the hats.
So the hats are a yes? It's a win? Should we order more?
Probably.
We sure can.
I like this one, actually, now that I see it.
All right, well.
But I want the leather patch on it, and I only want one made.
Oh, Kevin, I like it. Almost professional is a nice catchphrase for you two. That's almost too nice.
That's a really good compliment.
Best I've had today. We got another Michigander. Hi, Tracy. Nice to meet you. Who else we got? There's a couple questions on here.
Ass tonight he keeps telling me to move my mic up. He's a great kid.
Oh gosh, what does it take to be a celebrity guest on Beers and Bucks? Well, if you're a celebrity, you can't be a guest, so you're out, Blake.
Yeah, we don't want someone grandstanding us up here. Like, kidding me? Like, cheapers.
He wants a camel cap. So let us know, yay or nay on the hats. If you're listening on the podcast, sorry you can't see them. Go to our website. But if you're watching live, like a lot of our great friends, that's the fun part. Hopefully this gives you an excuse. You got home from work. It's been a long day to have a beer and hang out with your friends.
It was really cool. It was really cool when we were down in the Wisconsin Dells for the Wisconsin Deer and Turkey Expo.
That was fun.
The amount of people that came up that like tune in and that have been engaging with us, that you actually get to meet them in person. It was really, really fun, and it was a great time. We had a great time at that show.
We'll be back.
We will be back.
We'll book again. I got one more question here. We've already answered. I'm going to answer it again because it's like the theme of the April, I feel like. But Jason Karshbaum, our buddy over in Durand, is asking us about what to plant on a four-wheeler trail. We don't call them four-wheeler trails. What do we call them?
Deer highways.
Food highways.
Food highways.
What company does he work for? Deer Highways? Come on, Timmy.
It's called a food highway.
Let's explain to Jason when and how you should plant it. You've likely already heard this, and I apologize for anybody that's heard it a million times, but I think it's warranted.
We created a bedding area. We had an old 4-wheeler trail. We went in, we actually got the tiller in there the first year. Now we don't need to. So now we take a leaf blower, so we don't have to rake it. We
Absolutely.
got a leaf blower, blow all the debris off every year. And I actually have waited this year because we've had such weird volatile weather where it's hot, cold, hot, cold. I've left the debris on it because I like to think that it's kind of insulating some of these plants. Now this weekend, it's going to warm up. Anytime now into the future here, probably within the next week, I'll go and I'll blow that off and you'll see that it's just a bunch of green clovers coming up. But then I'll overseed, I'll frost seed some more hot chick over it. But again, it's critical for any of those low light areas. You have to get them established prior to the leaves coming in.
Absolutely.
And I said it earlier on the show here, but like you got it, the root establishment happens first before they grow up, and that's the most critical time for your plant's growth. They got to get strong roots.
If you plant it too late, you're going to get those tall plants that fall over, and you're going to text us and go, "Hey, what happened here?" It's going to be a long white stalk. So to Tim's point,
yeah,
if they don't develop those roots, carry on though.
That's what happened with when we first established that area. I moved in, and by the time I got my No BS planted, I'm sure it would have done better if I had got it in earlier.
We planted it too late. Yeah.
I planted it too late, and you get to your plot, and everything's super tall and stocky. It's trying to reach up and trying to get sunlight.
Sunlight was like this, covered by a canopy.
Yep. So that's my big advice on anytime you have a shady plot but timing's everything, and that's where frost seeding is so powerful as long as you get the debris cleared.
Also, too, to Tim's point, when you ask us when to plant something, we rarely say April 15th.
Yeah.
That's when you plant it. Well, maybe last year, April 15th is when you plant it. But right now, I don't have a tree with a bud, and I won't for weeks. So maybe this year, May 1st is when you plant it.
Yep.
And what you find about Tim and I is we're very gray in how we operate and how we do things, because we don't feel like there's a right or a wrong way. There's just better ways and worse ways. And every year gives you different ways. So when to plant hot chick? It depends on Mother Nature.
Yep.
This year, it's going to be May. Unless you frost seeded it.
Can you imagine if we had a crystal ball in late July and August and when we were going to get like a steady, nice rain after, like, you know, there is no correct answer there. And anyone who tells you like, oh yeah, it's like, no, like you depend on Mother Nature. You need rain. Like if you're planting summer plots and you're putting Big Sexy in or some of your fall brassicas, you need rain. Unless you can go out there and sprinkler it, which very, very few people can do.
But like, amen to you that can.
Yeah, if you can, God bless you. But Jake, I hate you.
Yeah.
But that's like a big, big thing. Is just you got to let Mother Nature go.
South Carolina joined us.
We got another state.
Threw that in there. Still waiting on a few more states.
And in fall, like late summer is not a bad time, honestly, to establish your perennials either.
It can be a great time, and if you're in the southern half of the U.S., it's probably the best time.
Yeah.
But Sugar Mama, if it's up here, I'm not sure if it is, but that's a perfect example of how to plant hunt-over brassicas and plant next year's perennials.
Yep.
So keep that in mind going into this year. I know
Incognito. When's a good time to plant that?
I know Stuart Jackson in South Carolina plants a lot of Sugar Mama. So Incognito.
Yeah.
Heard the old peanut gallery pipe in over there.
It's weird having two people stare
really
at you the
weird.
entire time we're trying to just have beers and have a conversation.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Maybe next time we got to put a little barrier and then the camera can come through it.
Ooh.
But it can't block the lights because it's doing a really nice job.
We'll have Riley work on that.
Yeah.
Incognito, though, it's a great question, even though I hate it when the old peanut gallery chirps at me like that. But Incognito is one of those that everyone gets really antsy to plant, but you don't want to plant it too early because it doesn't like cold. It'd rather have 100 and humid than 32. So Incognito, depending on where you live, it's one of those that you can wait to plant. Late May, early June. It's 110-day maturity to get to 12 feet tall. So I tell you what, wait before you plant it.
Yeah. Those can see like, and it's been cool. Like we partnered up this year with Homegrown Outfitters, as we talked about in our last Beers and Bucks, and they do a lot of strategic planting. And I think we started doing it of designing your food plots on how you can get deer to come where you want them to come. And they've really excelled at it. But Incognito is one of those tools that,
Absolutely.
or standing corn to just block obstruct their view for certain areas, make sure you can get in and out of stands. But it's proven killer on ours, and just thinking creatively about your plot. Don't just go in and do the whole, if you've got an acre, that you can plant, think about it, break it down on
it up
where your stand's going to be and try and obstruct their view. And we've had huge success, and that's where we've killed both our bucks on the property the last 2 years. And it's not a surprise to me.
We say we, but Jeff.
Yeah, well, technically he's trespassing on my side of the fence, but he technically does all the work.
When I look at Onyx, it says his name on it.
Fair.
Maybe you're trespassing.
I might be. Jeff Nelson, food plot architecture.
He knows a thing or two about architecture.
Accurate.
He doesn't know anything about architecture, but he knows a thing or two about food plots.
Few things.
A few things. I will say this too: like, our goal as a company is to turn your property into a domain. With food plots, it takes time, and it'll get there every time it does. We've witnessed it. But with Incognito, it can get there darn near immediately, honestly.
Yeah.
To your point, like if you hunt a 2-acre food plot, you're seeing a ton of deer, it's great, but nothing ever seems to come into the corner you're hunting because it doesn't have to.
Yep.
But you can use Incognito to direct traffic, move deer into certain areas.
Well, look at the gate stand this year.
Exactly.
We're in the...
You force deer walking right past you. If you saw a buck outside of the one shooter I saw from there, you killed it.
Yep.
So it's one of those things. Brian just popped on from Kentucky.
What's up, Brian? We haven't talked about you
That's
at all.
That's a poor excuse. Hunting turkeys instead of watching Beers and Bucks. I might just...
He's going to hear about that when we get down to camp. It's going in my journal. I will not forget, Brian.
Your journal?
Yeah. You don't want to get in there. The only person in this room that's in there is Riley.
Oh, boy. No further comments.
Yeah.
On to the next. His bedside journal.
I don't actually...
What an accomplishment,
I don't have
Riley.
a bedside journal. It's not bedside.
Oh, yeah. Brian has no off season. We were talking about you earlier. You have to pop back in there. We were throwing you some
cred.
Yeah. He's got a lot of street cred around there.
Yeah.
I mean, Jake and I walked around downtown Bardstown, and they were just like pimping him everywhere. I don't even know if it was Bardstown, but it was something like that. I tell you. I'm running out of gas, running out of beer. This has been fun. This is our first official Beers and Bucks podcast.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, we apologize.
Let us know. Give us feedback.
But really, we enjoy it.
Take more from the podcast, because it.
A lot of our podcast is just thriving off of the people that join us. That's kind of how we do this. It's a lot of back and forth. We answer questions. We ask questions. We learn as much as we share. That's kind of the fun of it. We're willing to learn. That's the best part. If you're food plotting, you kind of have to be willing to learn.
Yeah.
You're going to get kicked in the teeth a lot, whether it's because you did everything right or everything wrong. Mother Nature cooperated or she didn't. So that's kind of the fun of it. We kind of have a different twist of things. If you're not familiar with us, Beers and Bucks is powered by Domain, which really powers all things whitetails. If you're not planting it, you should.
Yeah.
That's your fault if you're not.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, but no, we appreciate having us on. This was kind of fun. If you haven't joined us before, we've never had mics. We've never had audio. We've never had lights. We've never had any of this stuff.
I feel fancy.
We have been told we look professional. We're not sure how to take it yet.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, we'll take it as a compliment for now. But no, hopefully this viewing experience has been better. If you're joining us for the first time, hopefully you learned something. We normally last about an hour, and then we run out of gas and out of beer, and Tim and I just get sick of one another after a while.
Yeah.
But if you have any more questions, comments, concerns, we'll stick around for another half a beer, because I still have a half a beer, and we'll chat about it. a lot of times right now we're talking about cold season perennials, but I think it's also important to think about
not wearing makeup. Jeff Nelson.
Actually, my daughter just got a really cute makeup set. We could bring her on and she could put your makeup on for you.
She tried that the other night. There was actually nothing there.
Yeah, probably for the better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it could be interesting. But no, right now we're talking about perennials and getting all that summer food established. But I think it's important to have a plan.
Yep.
Right? Everything you do should have a plan or a strategy to make sure that you've got 12 months of food. That's the idea. And that's kind of what we are founded on. Not just 9 days of gun season food.
Yep.
12 months of food. So
I think you'll find that year-round plan impacts even if you're a guy that can, or gal that can hunt 1 week out of the year, what you do in those other 51 weeks makes a huge difference in your success rate.
All the difference.
And you can go out and you can get lucky one year, but if you see the guys that are consistently harvesting, for our property, if we can consistently harvest one really nice whitetail a year, that to me is a win.
Heck yeah.
So, and we've been doing it and it's been getting better and better and better. So maybe next Beers and Bucks, we bring that topo.
We should. We need to talk about the bottom field, the topo.
And we'll do just kind of a full-on strategy session.
I also want to talk about, in collaboration with that, I mean, you own 150 acres, roughly.
131.
Okay.
Yep.
I also want to talk about, in collaboration with that, how you can do it on much less.
So maybe we get a little aerial of yours too.
Yeah, I don't like to give away my secrets, but maybe Jake's. We can talk about Jake's property. Nobody knows where Jake lives. Everybody knows where I live. But the idea is, I mean, you don't have to have 130.
No.
If you have 130, let us help you, or let's work together on building a plan. If you have 4 acres, 10 acres, 3 acres, we can help you there too. We have a proven program that works. Jake's done it. I've done it. We've got a bunch of friends that have done it.
Yep.
At the end of the day, if there's a will, there's a way. It's an old saying, obviously, but it's true, especially as it relates to this. And it's really fun to watch because you can turn a non-believer into a believer really fast.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
When we got our start food plotting.
Old Jamie giving Jake some crap again. It's always fun to watch the old boys come on and give Jake, old Ergie as we call him, some crap.
The first time Mike came to the property, we went up and we started raking up areas that we would have never thought you could we didn't think we could put a food plot in on the land. And I think if anything we can do as a company, we can push that anyone can create a food plot.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be big to draw in deer.
Nope.
And you can have big time success. So we'll continue to educate on that. We'll have a bunch of content coming out. Our YouTube channel is poised to have a bunch of good content this year.
Our goal is to provide more content.
Yep.
I said, hopefully the way we provide it is beneficial, helpful, useful. We take a much different approach to it, and hopefully that's helpful. When you're planting food plots, the more you know, the better off you are.
Yep. And
to use the people, I tell you what, go through the list of people on our show today. Every one of those guys and gals can help you as well, and that's the fun of this. A lot of times when there's a question on here, there's 10 people that answer it.
Yep.
So you've got a network of people to help, and we're kind of all on the same page trying to do that. So that's the fun part about it. But a little sweat equity, a little ambition, the right seed for what you're planting in.
Reach out and ask us. We'll help you.
So
cool. Well, let's wrap this
Should
up.
We sign off on this thing?
Yep.
Let's cheers to our first Beers and Bucks podcast, brought to you by Domain. Hopefully next week it'll be brought
I came in for a cheers and I whacked my microphone.
We got to get used to this thing still. You got the big old schnoz.
He's hitting the old beak on her. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you asked a question on here, we'll get to it. If we didn't get to it tonight, we'll answer it personally later on tomorrow. But thanks for joining us we're going to call it episode 1, although it's episode 37. But
yeah, episode 1.
The official episode 1 of Beers and Bucks.
Cheers. Thanks, you guys.
All.